Morning, folks. This welcome to another episode of Market Outlook. This week, because we are having a combination of monthly and quarterly close, so we need to start our analysis from a much higher time frame. So let's look at a 3 months time frame to see what we succeeded in doing last quarter. Okay? So there are two important things that we did last quarter. Let me take this out. Mm, Calculate. So there are two important things we did last quarter. One was that we got a rejection from this key level here. And we have very tiny rejection from this key level on the side. So with these two things, where could we be going next? Overall, I'm expecting further bearishness on DXY. This is the reason why. So we have we just completed the shift in structure, and now we are retesting the point that shift happened. So I'm expecting us to continue selling from there. And now this rejection that happened last quarter, sorry, was too small for me to expect the market to reverse from there. So what I will be looking forward to this quarter will be for us to take out this high and start showing bearish signs, start showing bearish intents. Let's look at the monthly time frame. Okay, so the monthly time frame is still seeing the same thing with what we're expecting in the quarter. So I can take this out. Okay. Okay, so notice that that key level we had on the quarterly is actually still present here, but we did not get very good rejection from it last week. Now we also see ourselves making this one. But I'm not going to be bothered about that because I'm looking at it as a manipulation of this range. We've taken the range low and now we are finally at the range. But what I would like to see is for us to pick up this high and subsequently take this liquidity here. So if we get these two things early this month, early this quarter, early this month, anyone, it's actually going to be okay for us to start looking for sales. So then for us to pick our seed through here, hmm, and there's still room for us to go up higher here before selling. Well, this is what I'll be watching in the meantime. When we get there, we will know what to do with it. So on the weekly, I'm noting what will happen. Nothing what will happen. So we have another key level here that was rejecting for the past 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks on the daily. So now on the daily, we had the rejection of this key level, which was shut by the check. So early this coming week, we can look for continuations for these buys, probably this level here. I think I've been inclined to use this one. So something like this to start the week off. Can get 3 hours on this, then that will be decent. So but we will look to take set of partials here, take in of conditions of here. then try to hold on to that the level we saw on the weekly time frame. That's the explore. Let's look at Euro USD 5 minutes. Okay. So let's look at an Euro USD again. Let's start from the 3 months. We will not able to look at all our peers because I'm trying to keep these videos short. So look at Euro USD, USD, crude oil, then BTC. Any other one, you can make a request for it and I'll send it as a separate video. So that's what we'll be doing. Okay, so let me this is about. So what are we seeing on the 3 months time frame? Uh, this last quarter was uneventful, but we did take the liquidity here and we rejected this whole issue. Okay, so if we have this kind of rejection, then a decent expectation will be for price to take out here, probably reach this level before we continue back up to see part of this Chevrolet gap here, right? So this is a decent expectation to me. So let's look at the monthly time frame. Okay. On the monthly time frame, there's nothing noteworthy. Um, but again, this is a good place to watch out for a drop. So last month we did not sleep this level totally. We did not sleep it actually. We just rejected from it. But it was a weak rejection. So look at the weekly. Yeah. So it's actually quite similar to the XY. So on the weekly we've been having rejections here. So we can look for daily entries and hours entries to pick out here and maybe here. So, yeah. So now looking back at what we got on that weekly, we're having so many rejections. So it's either we come back to sweep out all these highs or we continue going down. So daily, if you are to sweep those highs, then this is where we're reacting from. But I'm of the opinion that we should just drop from. So could use we've rejected this level again. This was on Wednesday. So we've gotten a 4 hours break. Yeah. So this actually a low probability enter from because this is not the way I like my trades presenting themselves. But it's a good entry on the bed. So it's to use confirmation for it. So this should be a decent way to start the month. So how many minutes have we spent? 9 minutes. Let's look at GBPUSD. Okay, so this is what we have on the quarterly time frame. We have an inducement for the quarterly key level. Then we have the low that took out the inducement. So because we did not break structure above it, this is our exit liquidity for all the buy side liquidity here. So we have another key level here on the quarterly time frame. This one has an improvement here. So these are the three levels that I'm currently interested in. So look at the monthly time frame. Is nothing really happening here. If we are closed below this key level here, it would have been a different story, but we didn't. So we look at the weekly key level. Now on the weekly time frame here, these are still our quarterly level. On the weekly time frame, we have something with on EU and DXY. Weekly key level, we rejected it once, twice, thrice. Okay. And then 2 weeks ago, we formed a new key level. 3 weeks ago, formed a new key level, which we rejected from last week. So now on the daily, we still have that same level here, and we've rejected from it. Now, what we'll generally be looking for will be a 4-hour break of structure to confirm this sell, and see if we can drop as far as 1.300. But okay, so this is actually going to be my expectation. So if we break here first, then I know we are going to be using that internal liquidity to continue pushing us down. But if we do not break here first, then I will need to take most of my positions off here on the options that I am wrong, right? So I'll look to take majority of my positions off here. But if we break here first, then if we break here first, we use entering liquidity. I'll take partials here and hold the rest to here. Maybe here, majority report here. Alright, so next up we're looking at crude oil, wheat, and BTC. We still have some time left, then we'll look at another bit. So first of all, on the quarterly time frame here, we saw that we came back into discount. We've been a little bit in discount since April last year, and then this past quarter we had the most bullish quarter we've had since 2020. And that bullishness actually gave us internal shift in structure. So we have that here. And with that, we can set our eyes on the external here. Right. So now what am I actually expecting? I'm expecting us to drop to $89.8 per barrel or $82.6 per barrel. So if we drop down to any of these two levels, we can then start looking for continuations to enter more crude oil positions to see if we can actually take out the all-time high. So let's start the monthly time. So the two levels that we picked out, they are equally valid on the time frame. Right? So, and none of them is in discount, but okay, this second one is in discount. So it's not impossible for us to find something. Okay. So we rejected the skill of it. So it's not out of place to expect a couple of sales to take us back into discount. On the monthly, we actually rejected this open close level here properly. So now we be looking to see if we are going to get any chance of market dropping down for us to join it. But on the daily, we are not having, we are not getting similar outlook to what we were expecting. So in the meantime, I'll actually not be touching this till we get that drop. So till we get that drop, I will be trying to avoid it. So that's what the 4 hours is doing. Okay. This guy here is actually tempting. But it's quite early into the month, so I'll try to leave it throughout this coming week to see how it plays. If we drop down here, it's a good sign to buy it. If we don't, then the buy should actually be easier next, like the upper week. So let's look at BTC USDT. Alright, so on the quarterly here, we have this kilo, this below. So many things are actually just happening here. I have this one we rejected a little bit. Then we have this one at 46 still with engagement. So at this moment, this buy at 46 is looking the most likely to have something like this towards the towards the end of the year. Probably something like this. Right? But in the meantime, we'll be looking to take more sales to 49K. That's what I'm interested in at the moment. Well, this quarterly key level here would have been the best bet to take this sale, but it seems a little bit far. Let's look at the monthly time frame. The same thing on the monthly frame. That same key level is shining. It's a little bit of engagement. 32K. On the weekly, same thing on the weekly. So on the weekly, we have here as in the can remove it here. So this is looking like this was actually my expectations from week back, but we did not take out that high. So but what we do have now is liquidity grab here, and then we formed an issue, and then we left an inducement below it. So on the weekly, we'll see if we print good candles here to give us this. So this is going to be the first trade, the best one actually. So after partials here, then we stand up today. So let's look at what the daily is showing us, whether it's in agreement. Are we in agreement? So, but on the daily, we have this trend line here that we are still dilly-dallying around. And then we've also gotten a shifting structure here, right? But this point here is supposed to be the market out break of minus structure. But we've not gotten that break of structure here. So for now, this cell here is actually still a little bit dicey. Look at the 4 hours. So I think BTC will leave BTC as well. So let's see if we'll have a pump to this place early in the week. If we don't, we leave it. But if we have a good daily close below here, preferably one that engulfs everything here, then we'll look for sell here to pick up here and get further down. I don't know if it's clear. So these are the two cells. This one here and this one after the break and retest. So, since we still have time for one more pair, let's look at one of the indices. So let's look at what US30 is offering. Alright, so this was how we closed for the quarter. Was not looking like a good close at all. So we formed an A shape as we close. Let's look at the monthly. Now on the monthly, we close the month with the rejection of this level. Now, do we push up from here or do we expect more sales? Let's check if we'll drop to, I don't go drop to discount. So we are still far from discount. We still have a key level here and we still have another. But let's look at the weekly. Okay. So the rejection just happened this week. And to be honest, because of the impulse that the rejection happened with, I am inclined to expect it to continue with. We just overturned almost 2 weeks trading. Let's look at the daily. Okay. So, okay. So yeah. This daily rather is looking like it's setting up to a low sensitivity run. So you can see we're actually also breaking out of this trend line here. But what I'll do is that I'll wait for a daily close above here. The reason is that if you're looking at it structurally, this is going to be the second. This is the second year's break of structure. This is the first break of structure here. So I wait for this second one to confirm it. If we do get that, then I'll be looking for something like this. Retest it, then I'll buy it up to this point. And that's how I'm going to. That's my expectation for US30. Same thing on the 4 hours too. So break here and now watching for us to break here too. If we get that break, I'll make it 3 sales. Thank you for joining me today. I'll try to keep this more steady. So see you again same time next week. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and what have you done? YouTube.